I don't think she sees faces either. She just sees like a dong swinging in her
Ew,
direction. And she's like, I want that.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I am Ramona Ramirez Higgins.
Hi, and you might have heard Ramona chuckle because I said that opening and my nose is stuffy because I was just sobbing. Because that's what sitting still with a good friend can do sometimes. And it's good. It's cathartic and wonderful. And thank you for listening, Ramona.
Please.
You will hear my nose clear up over the course of the podcast because I will stop sobbing and start screaming about these idiots on a yacht.
Or fucking sob and scream.
Yeah.
We also have mute buttons at our disposal. Yay.
True.
I love a liberal use of a mute button.
Yes.
I love you, friend, and I'm here. And I take you any way, shape, and form.
And you really brought it all into perspective by reminding me, at least you're not Lisa Barlow.
At least you're not Lisa Barlow.
You're quite right.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Before we start, I'm not going to lie, like it's been weighing heavy on my mind that I was so afraid that I was being misunderstood about comparing my husband and Todd last week. Not my husband to Todd, but comparing certain behaviors that I saw. And I was I was texting you. I was like thinking about it too much. Before I posted the episode, I played for him what was weighing heavy on my mind. And he was like, it's fine, you know? Anyway, lest anyone think that I think that my husband is like Todd. They are not. I'm just saying I saw Todd's defended parts after seeing my husband's defended parts. And I'm going to stop right there because I'm too tired and I don't want to dig myself. Not that I'm digging a hole, but you know what I'm saying? I don't need to over-explain for Christ's sake.
Yes.
Anyway, that's all. That's all. Please. Someone like me, I'm obsessing about how, like, people might misunderstand me. They might misunderstand my husband. They might think XYZ. And that, to me, is so terrifying. That is a very scary thought, that I cannot control how I'm being perceived. And that what if someone thinks I'm a bad person? And what if someone thinks that I'm comparing my wonderful, big, huge, warm-hearted husband to what we've seen of Todd? I am not doing that. Sometimes I see things in people that maybe I shouldn't see. Maybe I'm giving him too much of a benefit of the doubt, Todd Newport, you know? Like, I don't fucking know yet. I'm done. I don't need to waste any more time talking about this. No one called for my neuroses, or did they? Because that's our podcast. It's kind of...
That is kind of our podcast.
It's kind of our podcast.
It sort of leads with neuroses, but
it kind of does. It kind of does.
By the way, you were talking about needing to explain yourself, and I took a screenshot of this quote that I saw this week because I thought it was relevant, because I feel the same thing. Obviously, it's something we relate on deeply, which is why our phone calls always last 20 hours and our podcast lasts 2, because we need to be explained and understood and all the things. Anyways, here's what this says. It goes, trauma says, I need to explain everything so they don't misunderstand me or get upset. Healing says, I no longer explain myself out of fear. How someone perceives my truth is a reflection of them, and if there's any misunderstanding, the right people will ask, not assume. So if anyone was bothered, they will ask.
Yeah.
And if anyone assumes, that's on them.
Yeah, you're right. I experience that more often than I did a year ago, 2 years ago, 10, 20, 30 years ago now. Thank fucking God.
And it is like, it's super reductive and so oversimplified. And it's like, well, duh, but like try to apply that when I'm in emotional distress.
Yeah, exactly.
It spoke to me, that encapsulation of it. I need to explain so people don't misunderstand me and don't get mad.
Yeah. It comes from my child parts, my scared child parts, you know? And Yeah, I could go off, but I'm also very tired and don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now.
Fair
Unless
enough.
it pops up during the course of this discussion of this episode, which is The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 6, episode 7, Above Deck and Below the Belt, which was, I guess, a crossover, but also the crew on the Katana, whatever, the Katina, they were so background. No small parts, but like, you know what I'm saying?
I kind of enjoyed seeing this side of the yacht crew because Below Deck mostly shows us like the downstairs, version of the crew. And this showed us like the upstairs version, the presentation part. So Below Deck is all their mess and romance and hangovers and all that shit. And this is how they present. And I, as a former waiter and caterer and all that stuff, it was interesting to see. I know I recognize these characters from their various franchises, the Below Deck staff.
Sure.
And I was like, Joelle's like a raging nightmare. And Daisy's a delight, but the way she was talking to Mary, like, I know you don't like shrimp, but we're going to serve a whitefish. Would you eat that? On Below Deck, she's much harder and much saltier. And, so
For sure.
it was kind of cool to see how good they are at their jobs, honestly.
Oh my God. I was about to say those poor men that have to put up with there's flirting and then there's like, oh my fucking God, dude, I'm working.
But that's part of what's included in the price you pay for a luxury yacht experience. It's the boyfriend experience. It's the stripper experience. Part of their job is to make you feel personally like you're the specialist. You're the hottest. That's part of their job, and it's part of the experience the, yacht goers pay for. And that was on full display, especially with Britani, who flirted
My God.
all the way down from Captain Jason to that kid who looks like his hair is like a black beret.
Mike,
yes. He has a beret of hair.
oh God, as long as everyone's okay with it, and then who gives a shit what I think?
Yeah, they all seem to know it's part of their job. And I like watching Below Deck to watch them go down into the crew mess and be like, ugh, how gross. These, the men who pot the women and, the women who objectify the men and woo and look at their butts. And
Good
like,
Lord.
it's just like, come
Good
on,
Lord.
you guys, how sad.
I don't know if you felt this, but this episode, so much of it seemed really rehearsed and self-produced until the end when we saw Lisa like fully crash out. It felt like such a stark departure from last week's episode, which felt authentic. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. It's also these kinds of episodes with all the back and forth and the repetitiveness. It felt a lot of like she said that we see on a reunion stage when shit starts going off the rails. But whatever. It was also really entertaining.
I'm with you. It felt like the episode didn't start until the lunch with Bronwyn. Bronwyn's arrival didn't even matter. It was just like, and I will put this all, I'm really having a problem with Heather Gay this season. This is Heather's episode. It's her trip. And I just think she's full of shit. And she had a chance. She had an opportunity. She obviously got too drunk and let the piece of information slip that she'd fucked around with Captain Jason. And she immediately backed away and fucked the producers for letting her. Show up to work, dude. You don't just get to like orchestrate and puppeteer. You fucked around with Captain Jason, who's now on the show, and we just saw you like riding him on a Sea-Doo. Like, and if you had no chemistry, talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, he doesn't care.
I know.
He'll get, more ass than he can handle this lifetime. Like, it's okay if you're.
Can't even imagine. Yeah.
Come on. It's, whatever.
Well, I did think of you, though, that at least she gave you that. Because I know last week you were like, talk about it. Talk about fucking having sex. Not your daughters are out. Like, do it. And then she did let it slip. And at least they did keep in that confessional where she's like, no, delete. It's like, no,
But see,
dude,
that's the
you
part I
said it.
hated. She got drunk and then she let it slip to Britani. I fucked around with him. Then in her confessional, when she had the opportunity to do her job, she tried to be cute and say like, delete. I just want to know, like, I don't know. I think her story could be so interesting. And it's such a change of brand for her to shy away. I wish she would just tell us, like, what is it? Is it that you feel better in your body, so you're like more aggressive? Or Did he approach you and it was disappointing when there wasn't chemistry? Like, tell us anything other than like, oh, cute, coy. No, don't. Tee hee hee. Moving on. I'm just like, don't. You're a waste of my screen time,
You're
dude.
so right, man. You're so right.
Because her whole thing was Bad Mormon, where she told every dirty part of being rejected by the church that she loved. And that's why I, and lots of people I think, connected with her. And now she's being so pretty and cute and distant from reality and being coy. And I hate that shit. It's lying. Lies of omissions are lies. And her brand was truth. And now I'm sick of it. You look great and you're boring. That's how I feel.
I get it. Oh God.
We can plow through it. Airport arrivals, flight to Kanawhan. We meet Captain Jason and some of our below deck faves. Who is it is it Angie who prophetically states you'll never work so hard for your money in your life as this group of women get on the boat? I've never seen so much disrespect toward a wait staff in my life. The screaming and abject denial of the existence of everyone, the captain, the chef, the stews, like just screaming over everyone who's trying to provide service. Shocking.
It was abominable. Yep. I really need to get on the below decks that aren't the sailing yacht. Why the hell did I start with sailing yacht? Like, what was I thinking?
They're all great. I mean, they're all the same.
No, but like just visually, I didn't feel claustrophobic on this yacht like I do on the sailing yacht. I'm like, oh my God, like I can't. Like, why did I start with that one? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna start with below deck.
Well, you didn't feel claustrophobic because they were in the guest cabins. So on below deck, we just see the crew cabins. And if you recall, when Whitney asked for a tour, Daisy takes her into her cabin and she goes, "Aw, cute."
Yeah.
Because it's tiny and it's 3 bunk beds.
It's bigger than the sailing yacht room she stays in. I was like,
very
true. Okay. But yeah, I need to get on the yachts, not the sailing yachts. And then in the beginning of my notes, I said, yeah, on that big yacht, you won't get seasick. Turns out I'm fucking wrong.
The sea is the sea, honey. It fucking bobs all over the place. And as they get on the yacht and the crew serves them welcome drinks. And Lisa is on my nerves from jump by saying, after this, I'll only have my tequila and I'll make sure you have it. As if any luxury yacht, let alone I still have not been in a restaurant or a bar or anywhere that I've seen a bottle of Vida tequila.
Nobody on Reddit has either. This is not unique.
It must exist only in Utah.
Or in her mind.
Okay. Likely that.
When they first get on the boat, we see a confessional from Lisa, and she makes a dig at Angie, like immediately. Oh, Angie's only been in an RV, never a yacht before. Lisa, I invite you to enjoy what it feels like to have a good feeling about yourself because of your esteem versus trying to like manage on your ego to feel good about yourself. There's just nothing likable about this woman. And then in the opposite confessional, which is Angie's, she had me in the first half for a minute when she said she was going to keep her distance from Lisa. And then she lost me when she came in with some fucking fat phobia and said, or do I want to be close to her to make my ankles look skinny? And it's like, Angie, really? Fat phobia in this economy? Like, come on, man.
I swear, yeah.
You don't have to do that. It's the laziest. It is subterranean use of intellect to bust that bullshit out. It's so stupid.
It was a real Team Nobody moment.
Exactly.
And I feel like karma came to get Angie with some violent seasickness.
I guess so.
That comment did not go unforgiven. Or I guess forgiven? Uh-oh. I don't know. Don't get in the weeds, Margie. It doesn't matter. Anyways, Joao hates bags is what I wrote. And then Brittany says margarita shots back and forth with the beret-haired boy.
Beret-haired boy. Mike. For
an uncomfortably long period. I couldn't focus on anything, but it's a different color. Am I wrong?
It's a bad haircut.
What's going on?
Ay. The rooms are assigned. Brittany and Bronwyn are going to have to share a room, and yikes. And the crew are hypothesizing that this will be the hardest trip that they ever crew for. Whatever crewing is called. Whatever. They're crewing. Fuck it. They're crewing on a yacht. They're yacht crewing.
And Brittany, like a fucking middle schooler, lays claim to Captain Jason and says she's on a 30-day break from Jared, but he showed up to help her pack the day that she left. So 30 days starts again now.
I was disgusted. First of all, she says, regarding Captain Jason, if he's into me, I'm into him. And I was like, dude, that statement you just made is a whole ass chapter of a codependency book. I don't think that she meant it the way it filtered through my brain, but there were times in my past when I liked someone because they liked me. I knew what I was doing, but it's like, okay, well, this is here. This is what's in front of you, and no one else might like you, so do this. Full low self-esteem kind of a choice.
And she just wants all the male attention. I was like, she really is just, she wants the attention of the man, any man. I mean, she's learned nothing from that devastating encounter with her daughter that we saw last week. I was just like, you're not even going to try for like a 3-day yacht trip to fucking focus on anything other than getting attention from boys? Oh,
Jesus.
my God.
She needs slaw so bad, man. I just took her inventory hard, and sorry. It's just like, you spot it, you fucking got it.
But she doesn't want to change.
She doesn't.
Her daughter literally said, like, you
Jesus
have to look
Christ.
into what makes you do that. And she is on a yacht pursuing, at the detriment of her interactions with the women pursuing these men. Every single one of them. It's shocking.
I can't. And then when she says, you know, like, yeah, he showed up to help me pack. Like, he showed up. That is so fucking passive, lack of responsibility. He showed up. Like, it's just happening to her. Jesus Christ.
And isn't it so toxic? It's like he showed up because he knew she was going to like a gorgeous location and that she'd probably be around other men. So I feel like it's a control thing. He showed up to lay it down one more time before she left to be like, you know, yeah.
Oh, God, hermetically sealing vagina, engaging. No.
Well, I'm sure you were happy with the instruction that the women gave Brittany that she cannot say Jared's name on the trip. They'll splash her with water. She immediately tries them and they dump a whole pitcher on her, which was so rude to the crew who was just standing there going like, great. Get
More
them up.
for me to clean. Right,
Yep.
exactly.
God.
Bronwyn, they were speculating that she may or may not come on the trip, and we learn that she is being tendered to the yacht at this moment. She has a confessional that she has Todd's words in her mind. Why do you want to be with these women when they treat you the way that they do? So she shows up in a life vest, life buoy themed costume couture, like fine. And Lisa, again, thinks that she's really saying something by taking a dig like, oh, I've seen this on her Instagram before. Like, bitch, I love an opportunity to get out something that I love out of my closet. I don't give a fuck if I post it on Instagram 5 million times. If I'm stoked to wear it, suck it. Why do you give a shit?
And
Why
this
do
does
you
seem
care?
like a yacht specific fashion because it really, the hat was a life ring. It has like a literally inflatable, you know, floaty around the waist. And I did love Whitney for asking the question that was on my mind as well. She goes, is it fashion or costume?
And she's all, yep,
Both.
exactly.
Yes. Heather lost a nipple cover and Daisy announces it's missing over the radio. And then poor Angie is starting to get seasick. And then I got seasick as we see Brittany playing the recording of Jared saying, "Goodnight, baby, you are loved," on this unicorn stuffed animal's hoof. I mean, what the hell? Maybe that's what made me think him coming over was controlling. It's like, if you're going to come over and obviously sleep with her one more time and then give her this Teddy Ruxpin for her yacht trip, it was just so odd, and it's not normal for an adult relationship. It's very middle school.
It's infantile, and yeah, you're right. It's like, here, I'm going to give you something to think about me while
Don't
you're
forget
gone.
about me.
Don't forget
Yeah.
about me. Here's
I'm
this.
in this unicorn that you're going to lay down with every night. It's so weird.
So Meredith and Barlow are in their room having a not at all rehearsed conversation about Bronwyn, and Meredith says they didn't bring up the allegations when she first got there because Heather asked us not to, And I'm like, bitch, as if that's ever stopped you guys before on any franchise on this entire network. Meredith, I am not a dum-dum. Stop it. Neither one of those women are good actresses. They both
No.
suck.
Meredith is just as another one who's just clocked out of work. She rode the fence like so hard this episode that I was like, I'm so mad and bored with your presence on my screen. Make a choice or go away.
She is, to me, doing what you clock in Heather Gay. She's coasting on her camp status.
Yeah.
With Brooks and his sweatpants, her and her store, the memes, the
Her
rumors and the
bathtub.
nastiness. Right. Like, she's a meme. She likes being a meme. And she's really going to lean into all of it. And it's boring. I know that people love Meredith. Like, I'm glad for you. I don't find that she gives any value add at all.
And this was such a strange thing that she said. Lisa says she wonders if Bronwyn will bring up the bad press on her own. And Lisa expects an iteration of the truth. And Meredith goes, well, I would just like a truthful answer. That would be nice. And I'm like, you're not entitled to any answer. What are you talking about? You would like I just was like, I don't understand the entitlement, and I don't understand what's that word? Righteousness.
Yeah, righteousness.
About what? Like, and I thought, Bronwyn handled it beautifully at this lunch that they all sit down to, where she does bring it up, or someone says, is everything okay? Someone makes some innocuous statement and everyone knows what it means. Bronwyn says the charges are 20 years old due to an eviction for unpaid rent after she left BYU to go to California to have her baby. And all of the other charges she claims had something to do with something that happened at her workplace, and she cooperated with authorities and was not charged, which sounds to me like an immunity deal. Like the level of vagueness it does sound like she did something and cooperated in order to plead out. But the charges are sealed, and the press is related to all the items that fall under the penal code related to that case, which is the only information that the public can access. So all of those things that are in those headlines, grand theft, identity theft, all that stuff may or may not have had anything to do with the actual case, and we'll never know because it was sealed. I suspect those things did have to do with the case, and that those were charges threatened on Bronwyn, and that she cooperated and pled out, but
she also has an extremely wealthy, just shy of like billionaire class husband that can probably make things disappear from the internet.
At least buy you the best team of lawyers to get you in a position where you can have a case sealed and no one can ever know what you did or how you got out of it.
There have been considerable deep dives with screenshots and documents or whatever posted on Reddit about what Bronwyn's talking about. So I will link those in the show notes, just in case anyone has something to do, you want to scroll and read some shit, get salacious with your time. Look in the show notes. I can't recommend them enough. Margie is hilarious. Anyway. Okay, so Bronwyn says there's no charges, there's no mugshot, no police record, there's nothing, absolutely not. Then Heather asks her, well, then why are these headlines so upsetting? And Lisa echoes, yeah, why? Why would it matter? And I'm like, bitch, what? What? I'm sorry, Barlow, what? You would flip the fuck out for less than that.
She flipped out at Jizz for Jazz. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, Jizz for Jazz tickets, oh my God.
I mean, my God.
Oh God, oh God, oh God.
Bronwyn explains that she was late to this yacht trip because the sudden bad press happened after a notable fight with some women in this group, and that made her and Todd more reticent to spend time with them. So I don't blame her for not wanting to take a 15-hour travel day with people who treat her like crap. And Bronwyn here suspects that the call is coming from inside the house, and Lisa immediately and way too emphatically denies it, saying like, we've been friends for so long, we would never do that. And everyone at the table's head snaps to Lisa. Heather and later Whitney both note that the lady doth protest too much.
She's doffing and protesting like
all
it's
over
her
place.
Full fucking time job.
Yeah.
Like she's got to do that instead of put on a front about Fresh Wolf and Vida and Ben Affleck and Blake Lively. And I want to just remind everybody, Lisa, she thinks we're so stupid. Lisa crossed her husband's explicit boundaries and found his biological mother against his wishes when he said, I don't want you to do this. She did that to her husband, a man she claims to love. If she's going to do that to her husband, I just got chills. I'm so disgusted. Why wouldn't she do that to Bronwyn, a woman that she has nothing but contempt and vitriol for? And then, again, she went behind Bronwyn's back to get close with Gwen's grandparents, who actively rejected their granddaughter because of the circumstances in which she was born. Lisa befriended them because they're a nice, white, rich, high-standing in the cult church Mormon family. She did that regarding a child because Gwen was still a kid. She was still under 18. This is Lisa Barlow. I don't forget this shit. She did that to John, and then she did it to a child. She's the devil. She might be the most diabolical housewife out there that doesn't have a criminal record that we know of.
She is just controlling and self-serving to the absolute outer limits. And then she does this thing where she plays victim and tries to project everything she's obviously doing onto Bronwyn, saying well, I didn't think it was weird that you dug up stuff on me in retaliation after I was mean to you. And it's well, that's what you just did, and everyone at the table knows it. I loved Mary for just kind of digging in on Bronwyn and going you know who you're talking about. It's not just anybody. It's Lisa, right? And Bronwyn she evades answering that question directly and just says it would really bother her if it was someone in this group. There'd be no coming back from that. And that Lisa, again, out of nowhere, feels accused. And
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope. Yeah, she's ridiculous.
And
she's
Bronwyn's
ridiculous.
it would just be really disappointing if after that lunch we had where I apologized to you if you carried on smearing my name in the press. And then Lisa starts yelling and then tries to collect herself by saying I'm hot, let's go swimming. And everyone kind of adjourns from the table. And she goes what did she say?
Oh, she said, who sent my stuff? Who sent my stuff? Who's going to go to the blogs and the Salt Lake Tribune? Fuck it. Let's just go swimming. I'm irritated and it's 100 degrees in here.
Ridiculous.
She's ridiculous.
And then Whitney, God bless her, in her confessional is Lisa, you just gave yourself away. No one accused you, bitch. And you're having this massive freak out while everyone else at the table is just sitting there comfortably. So, you're the only one who's hot under the collar. So, yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. So they go swimming. I'm grateful for the playful break, quite honestly, after that lunch scene. And Heather and Brittany are cuddling on some chair thing. And Heather lets it slip, like you said earlier, Margie, that she and Captain Jason fucked around.
And meanwhile, poor Angie had entered with a barf bucket. God bless her for still getting out there. And she's Whitney told me to get in the water because that would make me feel better. Cut to 5 minutes later, she's barfing through her hand, trying to get out of the water. She's just seasick. The water is bobbing whether you're in it or on it. And so poor Angie, God bless her.
I've been there. I have gotten seasick from floating before. It is ridiculous. And I felt like an idiot, but you can't help what your body does, Lisa, this infuriated me. I was disgusted. This woman, I lose more and more respect for her. I don't have any left, but so Lisa sees Angie barfing and she says, oh my God, that's the worst. He's a trooper, in regards to Eddie, who's rescuing Angie right now.
And he's so nice. He's
He's
it's
so
okay. Clearly they've seen this a million, thousand, billion times. I've watched every iteration of Below Deck, and often the crew will board and one of the crew members goes down with seasickness and is just barfing in a plastic bin beside their bed until they can get their sea leg. Lisa's just a monster at every turn.
Oh, I just couldn't believe it.
And I related to Angie because I've gotten seasick too before. And she's ugh, I felt so ugly vomiting. And the worst part is I'm so sick, I can't even suck in and I'm in a goddamn bikini. And I was
that to me bummed me out too. That to me, I'm just dude, give yourself can you just be sick? Like, just
Not
be
on
fucking
camera.
sick, dude.
I would feel the same way.
Okay, all
because
right.
she literally looked like she was dying. As Lisa makes her snarky comment and goes, "No more yachts for you." They cut to the shot of Angie where she literally looks like her head is not connected to her neck and body anymore.
Yeah.
So like I can understand not wanting that moment captured on camera. It's probably less about being ugly and more about being like, I'm just completely out of my body and I don't want this immortalized on film.
That's very fair. That's very fair. So they arrived at the boat, and Lisa starts apologizing to Eddie profusely. She's just profane and devoid of all empathy at all. And I don't understand. I can't imagine what it's like to be like that. I just can't. I can't comprehend it.
Well, and again, she's just deep in her own MO. So she just got accused at the table of being a source of all of this bad stuff that's going on in the press. And so immediately she's like, ew, look at Angie. She's throwing up. Isn't she gross? Look at what a hero this deckhand is because Angie's disgusting, right? Angie, Angie, Angie. Everybody look at Angie, not me. It's like, dude, you're doing what you do. And speaking of doing what you do, Britani is now trying to flirt with Joao. And in this moment, she weirdly adopts what I think she was trying to, I don't know. She was sort of adopting his accent. She goes, "Did you have fun? Good, good." And I was like, you are so weird and you are so not a fully formed human because suddenly you have an accent. And this flirtation was so awkward. He asks if they're going to have a late night tonight, and she says she'll see him later, and he says yes. And it's just like that's the boyfriend experience included in your purchase price for your luxury yacht experience is Joao, this abusive, misogynistic monster that we've watched over the years on Below Deck flirt with you. Congratulations. Gross.
Am I getting Joao and Eddie mixed up?
Oh, no, Eddie was the one who, paddled Angie back to
Right?
the yacht. And Joao is the blonde who was with Britani.
Sorry, Joao. I got you mixed up with Eddie. Sorry to
Oh,
those crew men.
I
Sorry.
don't know. I probably got him mixed up too.
Brittany has a page out of Ramona Singer's flirtation book, stroking the straw up and down and fluttering her lashes. I'm like, you're middle-aged and you look just as stupid as she did. I'm not trying to say that middle-aged women can't flirt. Like, get your fucking flirt on. I'm just saying that the like, I'm like, you just look so stupid. Have some respect and some shame.
Or at least just know that, again, just enjoy the experience you paid for, which is for these muscly younger men to pay attention to you. Enjoy it.
Okay.
And then we have Beret Head bringing Heather and Mary a glass of champagne. Bronwyn shows Whitney the unicorn with Jared's voice in the hoof. And then Brittany, we cut to Brittany flirting with beret head.
Yeah.
And she's so bad at it. He's so gentle and sweet. And he's like, "Tell me what it is you do again." And she's like, "I'm a real estate developer. I build, I sell. I build, I sell. I build, I sell." And I was like, I'm bored. He's bored. Everyone's bored. This is not going the way that you want it to.
No,
God
it's
bless.
not. You're just looking like a big old fool.
Yep.
Back to Bronwyn and Whitney after lunch. Bronwyn speculates, obviously, this is Lisa, and Whitney insists that it's Lisa, too. They speculate it's because Lisa called her Conwyn, like a troll on Twitter called Bronwyn Conwyn. And we see a flashback, and Lisa called her Fraudwyn, which is kind of clever. Fraudwyn and Conwyn, that's kind of clever.
Well, and in fairness, it all got conflated because in the tweet, it says Conwyn Fraudport. Instead of Bronwyn. So it's all of a piece. It's clearly Lisa and
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So Whitney and Heather are in their room chatting, and they both agree Lisa is the culprit. Heather says Lisa is smarter and darker than any of them imagine. Agreed, 100%. Heather thinks Lisa looks up everything. She keeps a scorecard. She's pissed about Bronwyn and her attitude, and Lisa's made sure that anyone who's interested knows Bronwyn's history. Jesus, get a fucking life. Get a hobby.
Truly.
Do something. Be of service. Go read books to kindergartners in a school. Go give tutoring lessons to kids who need help with literacy. Like, just, man, make a difference. Like, do something. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting bummed out saying all this shit out loud.
It's all finally, this is again the reward of being a long-term reality TV show watcher. So we've watched Lisa Barlow since episode 1 of the show, and it's all coming unraveled this season, all of it. And we're watching her freak out and lose her mind. I mean, at one point she basically like growled and snapped at Whitney at the dinner. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
she's
yeah.
really losing it. And it is dark, It is dark, but it's also like, this is the real drama that I'm here for.
I know, me too. Me too. It just makes me sad for humanity, but she's a lost cause as far as I'm concerned. I believe, I am not qualified to diagnose anybody, but I will simply say she reminds me of narcissists that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought this was interesting. In Heather's confessional, she says that Lisa and Bronwyn have been going at it for a while. At the reunion last year, Lisa brought up Emma the jeweler and the diamond necklace, and she has personally seen Lisa ask other people about Bronwyn. And we see footage from socialite Amy's party at the beginning of the season where Barlow's asking a woman who's like draped in pearls, hey, do you know Bronwyn and Todd? Heather also mentions the scene that we saw Angie telling Meredith that Lisa's trying to dig up dirt on her family about shoplifting and bankruptcy. So seeing all of this has sealed the deal for Heather that Lisa is the one leaking these terrible stories to the press. So Heather says as much to Whitney and thinks that they should bring Meredith in to discuss it. Like, again, it's so produced and stupid, but it made me laugh because Whitney does a backwards roll off the bed in order to
amazing.
dismount.
And it was so slow and deliberate, and I loved it.
It was hilarious. I loved it too.
It was so like drunk in the middle of the day on a yacht behavior. I was like, I probably would have done that too.
It's so funny. I'm so glad you picked it up too. I was like, that is hilarious. So in Heather's other confessional, she says she feels like if she has Meredith's support in this, then confronting Lisa will go a lot better.
And this is what you're saying. This is just Heather producing
Totally.
and directing a storyline from away from anything interesting in her own personal life. It's just so boring.
It's so boring. So Whitney starts to tell Meredith why they are speculating it's Lisa. Listen, I'm speculating it's Lisa, and I've never even been to Utah. So
all of planet Earth knows
Exactly.
it's Lisa. Lisa is the only one who thinks Lisa is fooling anyone. Is this where Whitney says that she's getting, or I guess she said that with the Twitter thing, where it's like she's not even trying to cover her tracks anymore. She like literally said Conwen
yeah.
to Bronwyn's face, and then the following day it's on Twitter.
So Whitney lays the case out. She lays out her hypothesis. She and Lisa got into a fight last year, and then the dirt about Whitney's jewelry line came out. Now Bronwyn's in the crosshairs after fighting with Lisa. They ask Meredith, like, don't you think this is a little suspicious? And Meredith, again, she thinks we think she's a good actress. She plays dumb, and she's like, so you think Lisa is engaging with the press in an inappropriate way? Dude.
I don't think, I know. And so do you. Moving on.
Honestly. And then Meredith again. She says, if in fact it's true that Lisa is leaking to media outlets, it's definitely a problem. No shit, Sherlock. Like, you think so? But then she says it may not be true. And as far as she knows, her interactions with Lisa, after their interactions, they're in a good place. Well, wonderful, Meredith. As long as you and Lisa are cool, then fuck it, right? Then who cares about everything else she's doing?
It's just such a weird move. And Heather does this too. It's what she did with Jen Shaw when everyone's like, Jen Shaw's bad. She punched you in the eye. And she's like, no, she's my friend and we're in a good place. So that's my friend and it's fine. Everything's fine. It's like, it's okay. Like Mary, like you've already cited in this recording, like Mary says later, it's okay to be a good friend and tell the truth,
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
She continues to astound me. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe Lisa and Bronwyn getting in a fight is a coincidence with the fact that these headlines have now been coming out about the allegations with Bronwyn. We all make mistakes in our friendships. Let's see what Lisa says. Is she afraid of Lisa?
I think I imagine she doesn't want any bad press coming out about her. So she's just trying to keep her distance from getting in the mud with Lisa. Because Lisa's so volatile and so quick and clearly has backstocked crap on all these people. So, yeah, I think Meredith is just trying not to be the next one blown up in the press. But it sure is boring.
It's so boring.
But I do love what should be boring, but what is now my favorite sitcom in the whole wide world is Angie and Mary in their room together, laying on the bed. Captain Jason comes in and tucks some ice around Angie's body to cool her down and start, helping her recover from seasickness. And Mary's going to take her dinner in the room so that Angie doesn't have to be alone. And she takes whatever. It probably happens later, but after last week's fart episode,
Yeah.
and then she takes clearly what is implied to be a giant shit, and she says out loud, now she's cleared room to eat her dinner. And I'm like, oh my God. I just love Angie and Mary because they're both who they are and they're comfortable around each other. And Angie seemed appreciative of Mary's company and appreciative of Mary talking to herself. She's like, well, that way you can keep me entertained and keep yourself company. Because Angie is still delirious. I mean, she's lost so much fluid at this point just from barfing for all those hours that, I don't know. I just thought I loved this. And it should have been boring. And because it's a stationary locked camera at the top of the room. There's not even a crew in there with them. It's just two ladies laying on the bed, one of them languishing with seasickness and the other one laying on her side, complaining about not enough food on her plate. And I was like, I love this. I would watch this all day. Heather actually ruined it when she came in. I was like, get out of there with your dumb drama.
Mary's caftan with the chain print, I immediately Googled it. It's Versace. It's $560, I think, used on, I don't know, some website. But they are the accidental Statler and Waldorf of this franchise, and I love it so much. I do believe they have a genuine friendship. Yes, exactly.
Statler
they're
and
not
Waldorf are so
right.
cynical. These two are just like, oh, I'm not going to go sit at dinner because you don't feel well and you might faint and someone should be here and I want that to be me. I'm like, oh, God, I love you guys.
So back upstairs at dinner, Heather said she's sad and will miss having Angie and Mary's commentary. And Britt says, I'm not going to miss Mary's commentary.
Heather, why don't you do some commentary? Why don't you show up for your guy? You know what I mean? Just stop casting dinner. Yes. Oh, it's too bad Angie and Mary, the comic relief, aren't going to be here. Well, you do something. You participate.
She says something so wild, I'm just like, she cannot have been earnest, right? She says to Brittany, we have a rule. We can only talk shit if the person you're talking shit about is right in front of you. What?
By the way, speaking of Statler and Waldorf, that is a rule that the Muppets have. You can't write a joke for the Muppets unless the person whose expense the joke is made at is on stage opposite them in the scene, which is a very sweet and Muppety Henson rule, but it does not apply to Housewives, Heather. What are you fucking talking about? Cut to the rest of the episode where she's going room to room, talking about everyone, talking shit about, dude, stop.
Delusion, just all over this fucking boat. Speaking of, Brittany says that she's the only one I'm the only one that says what I feel to people's faces. Bronwyn's like, are you fucking kidding me? And then Bronwyn does something that I thought was it seemed out of character, but she's probably deep in survival mode as well. So fuck it, let's throw something else to the wolves. It's not going to be me. And she says to Brittany, what about the things you're saying that aren't being said to people's faces? And that wipes the ever-present sing-songy little facial expression she always has on her face. It's wiped from Brittany's mug at that point, and she just looks like she's super pissed. And Bronwyn says, there's people you're mad at, Brittany, that you're not saying something about. And then we see a flashback to the week earlier where Brittany and Bronwyn are shopping, which I thought was odd. Although it looked like they were in a really interesting consignment store, and I was like, damn, I want to go there. So Brittany says to Bronwyn when they're shopping, I think Lisa's trying too hard to big sister me, and I don't need that. I can fight my own battles. And then Bronwyn asks Brittany, what's going on with you and Meredith? What's the problem there? And then Brittany says, I haven't seen Meredith yet without her having a seizure of some sort. I don't know why Meredith goes from 0 to 100 in 0.02 seconds. It's almost like it's not even real. And Bronwyn looks horrified in that moment. And Bronwyn says, well, wait, hasn't Meredith been super supportive of you? And Brittany says, no. But I know for me, I remember Meredith yelling at Angie not to slut shame Brittany with the high body count hair in last season at Meredith's bat mitzvah. Brittany's insane.
Brittany is insane. And I love Bronwyn for just cutting right at it. if it were a scripted line, the parenthetical ahead of it telling the actor how to read it would say in one breath. Because she's just like, this is what Bronwyn said, Meredith. You big sister her too much and you have seizures and blah, blah, blah. And this lights Meredith up in her righteous, some people do have seizures and my child is a one. And it's just like, oh my God. Don't hold Britani to like vocabulary words definitions. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
She was right to push back, but not with that much fucking bravado. It's Britani. She's
It is
dumb.
Britani.
Just say like, don't use the word seizure. Like that's actually a condition. If you're saying I overreact, that's fine. And then you can go at her from there. But Meredith really made a meal out of seizure.
I do appreciate Meredith's commitment, though, to pointing out ableism. I do. I really do. And I don't think that Britani meant seizure in that way.
I don't think Meredith was pointing out ableism. I think she was trying to get out from under what had just been said about her.
I see. I was being naive.
If she was pointing out ableism, she would pause and say like, hey, you just chose a word that actually has a lot of gravity to it. So you'll need to rethink that because I have a child who suffers from seizures. That's a medical disorder. And I'm happy to explain to you why that's hurtful when you use that word. That's taking up for ableism, not going like, seizures are a real. It's just like, she just called you out on being something. And instead of saying like, I'm not that and here's why, or saying, I don't know. It felt self-serving, I guess is the short
100%
of what I'm trying to say.
Very righteous. Very righteous. Yes. At this point, Daisy happens to come up and she's like fucking mortified and nopes out. And then they cut to break. And then when they come back up, it's the title card's all night one. I'm all, goddamn, it is only night one.
It's crazy. And this made me laugh so hard, this whole sequence of like, Daisy comes up and then Beret Head comes up and then the chef comes up and then Captain Jason. And systematically, one by one, the table erupts into more screaming and yelling with each new presence of crew member at the table. And not a one of them gets a word out. Not one of them. They all tried. They all stayed there. They tried to find an inn. At one point, Bronwyn even said, like, hey, you guys, the chef is here. And Lisa like erupts even more. I was just like, you people are so self-centered. It's literally like, it's incomprehensible to me. I don't know how you can sit there and just let other human beings be invisible.
I don't
either. You feel their
either.
presence. I know you do. So you're choosing to ignore them. And after they've prepared your meal, served it to you, driven the boat around, blown up your water toys, you're just gonna, it's just so gross.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I know we don't watch Housewives to, look for a moral compass, but it's just like when you see it all in all of its disgusting display, it's just hard not to, yeah.
And
anyway.
Heather started this trip by saying like, I'm friends with Captain Jason outside of the Housewives. So like, let's try to behave in front of him because he doesn't know how crazy we are. Cut to Heather screaming so hard. Like I could hear her vocal cord shredding as she's obviously drunk and yelling. This whole dinner, I was like, oh my God, this makes me never want to drink again. It's like, I'm a clown, right? So when I get drunk, I'm either like super fun and funny or super sad. I don't get angry. That's not my brand of drunk. But I've certainly been around people who get drunk like this. When the righteous rage is kicked off, you can't stop the screaming with a fire hose. They just are off and running. And that's what happens from here on out.
So Meredith and Britani are now getting into it. Meredith brings up all the shit that Britani's done. She's lied about Meredith crying and throwing up in the room next to her, recording all of them in the Sprinter van, throwing Whitney's business under the bus when they were in the RV in episode 1 of this season. And Heather says, thinking that she's sage, we all need to own things and move on. We need to be grateful we're privileged, which I was glad for that little nugget of sanity and perspective in that moment. But also, it's like, you don't get to pick and choose, Heather. I mean, I guess she does. She's a fucking housewife.
Right.
She don't
But
give a
again,
shit about
it
my
just felt
opinion.
self-serving.
It
It just felt
did.
like I'm at the head of the table. I'm holier than
Ah.
thou. And then 5 minutes later, she's shrieking, bent over her plate with her arms flat out on the table. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not someone who's grateful and understands their privilege would acknowledge the fucking wait staff.
Yeah, dude.
So
Seriously.
practice what you preach, because your preaching is
Seriously.
like really gross and lame when you have the opportunity to be grateful and recognize your privilege and you absolutely shirk it.
So then, in the vein of owning things, Whitney focuses her attention on Meredith and says, listen, you need to own things like the conversation you had with Heather and I this afternoon.
Basically, it just boils down to Whitney is now basically saying that the conversation that Whitney, Heather, and Meredith shared needs to be brought to the table. Meredith shirks responsibility on this one, is like, and says to Heather, you should talk about it. And then Heather says, basically, we all sort of agree that Lisa, it couldn't be anyone else but you who is perpetrating these bad press reveals on the heels of having a fight with whichever one of us winds up in the press the next day.
So Lisa asks, she's very, very defensive at this point. She asks why they're questioning her. Whitney says, because you always seem to know the information before it gets out. And Meredith adds, whenever you're upset, Lisa, something gets leaked. Lisa freaks the fuck out and tells Meredith, I hope you had my back. I hope you had my back. And Meredith says, listen, I didn't think it was true. Lisa says, you don't have to hope it's not true because it's not true. And Meredith says, okay, well, that's all I need.
And by the way,
Meredith?
when Lisa is screaming in Meredith's face, like eye drilling her, going like, I hope you had my back. It's like mafia level. Like, I will destroy you if I find out that you were not only like, you better have been advocating for me, not just shrugging and saying, I don't know.
Totally.
So
Totally.
watch out, Meredith. It's coming for you next.
Oh, my God. Lisa yells that she's not the source of anything. People tell me stuff and I'm all of a sudden responsible. Bitch.
This is all of her denials are so stupid and ridiculous. It's just, she is so caught.
She is.
And the problem is that everyone is so drunk and screamy that it's hard to take anyone seriously because everyone's acting a fool at this point. But Lisa is clearly busted. And this is what she does when she's busted. She tries to walk away. She starts crying. She calls John. She tries to leave the situation. She isolates. She won't talk to anyone.
Yep.
She won't let anyone come near her. She won't let anyone touch her. She blames everyone for her misfortune instead of looking at herself.
I wonder if the rejecting of everyone or trying to come up to her and just even chat with her, I wonder if that has anything to do with shame. Or is she beyond shame? Am I giving her too much credit to think that she might have some shame going on right now?
I think she's caught and there's nothing more for her to say. All of her denials are being rejected because they're so obviously false. So I think she's just caught and doesn't want to be accountable. So she has to leave. It's a survival mechanism. She has to get out of there because she cannot tolerate her own defects of character, which are only human. Everyone has them, but she can't tolerate it.
Mary and Angie are in their room and they're just like listening to the fucking fracas going on. And
they are us. I love them.
I know. Me too. Me too.
And Mary is eating her food and the first plate comes in. And she's like, where's the rest of it? And I'm like, it's like 9 courses. Calm down. They're going to bring it. And they do. They bring it like one at a time. And they're so
sweet.
lovely.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm sure Mary is so grateful to have the excuse that she's going to keep her friend Angie company.
I think it was a win-win. I think she was like, my friend is sick and that sucks, but it means I don't have to be at that screamy ass dinner going on upstairs with all of these people who, you know, Mary did a lovely job wrangling them at Whitney's tarot card wine tasting party.
Mm-hmm.
She put in her time. This is a hopeless group. You can't get these people to take the high road and show them the light and everything that Mary would be telling them. It's just not going to happen.
Oh my God. So Lisa's doing her aggressive shtick, yelling in Heather's face, grabbing her face. Oh my God.
It was scary.
It was scary.
Like a little bit out of control.
It was. I'm not going to lie.
It would have freaked me out. Because she said to Whitney, she bent down and was like, "Get that thought out of your head. I didn't do anything." And she grit her teeth and a new tone came into her voice that I was like, I would be scared on the receiving end of that, and I would back off just because it seems a little physically out of control.
It's like Julia showing us her whole capability, her rage spectrum on Miami. Like, we see it. Like, you've done it. We know what you're capable of. Lisa, it's irredeemable. Like, you can't come back from this. So Lisa victims like because she's a cornered asshole and she's crying and she tells Heather to fuck off. I've been called Jen Shaw. I've been called a cheater. You're all lucky that I talked to any of you. I'm so sick of it. Oh my God. And then she turns to Meredith and she's like, I'm enraged that you know, she's like, you better have stuck up to me for me. Oh my God. And then Heather yells at Meredith on the other side, don't bow down to her rage. And says, Lisa needs to own it. You know, she needs to own what she did. And then Lisa claps like a seal and screams, I'm not going to fucking admit something I didn't fucking do.
Which is hilarious because she hosted a whole lunch of
Yeah, dude. Seriously.
lawsuits that, in fairness, she did deny. But this is so much.
It was convoluted. It was so convoluted and awful.
Yes, it's just her denying everything, storming off. Heather says, you know, then get off the yacht if you're not going to listen to me. And Lisa's like, do you really want me to leave? And Heather goes, of course not. And I'm like, oh God, these women are so drunk. We're all doing this. And then Lisa does finally like storm off down the stairs, calling John, crying. Like, I'm just so sad. They accuse me of the worst thing anyone could be accused. It's not the worst thing. And again, if you weren't guilty, it wouldn't hit this hard, you know? It just wouldn't.
The structure of the bandeau part of Lisa's dress doesn't even want to be around Lisa. It starts like coming out. I don't know what the hell those pieces of boning were like, bye, bitch. You're insane. You're spitting all over your face. It's dripping on me. She's like possessed. And Heather tells her, listen, I've been a good friend to you. I'm a friend to the death. And that's when Lisa aggressively goes for Heather's neck with her hand and gets in her face. And I was prepared for violence.
Yeah, that was really scary. She does lose control. It's similar to when she lost control on the hot mic moment when she's like, Meredith has fucked half of New York City. It's like that's the verbal equivalent of this moment where I'm just like, you're out of control. And I don't think anyone could bring you back without like physically shaking you by the shoulders. And I'm with you. I was like a little bit concerned. Yeah. So Lisa walks off sobbing to John on the phone.
Oh my God, I've never done anything to them. And John says to her, don't be sad. If I'm on a boat with a bunch of friends and I'm the one that's like feeling like I need to go and cry to my husband because everyone hates me, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. If I don't have an ally because I can't take responsibility for my fucked up behavior and I have to run to my husband, again, she has nothing and no one. Her husband is tolerating her. I'm sure he loves her. It seems apparent, but he doesn't know how to handle her.
Or I'm sure he's heard this kind of call 1,000 times.
For sure.
And it must be exhausting to hear, I'm so sad, when, again, she has manufactured her own misery, as they say.
Yes.
If you would just stop meddling and mind your business, stay on your side of the street, you wouldn't be this upset right now. If you weren't digging up shit and releasing it to the press, if you just lived your own fucking life, you wouldn't feel this way right now. Just, she is so desperate for control that she cannot get and stay on her own side of the street. She needs everyone else to line up how she needs them to, and she'll take all of these drastic, strange, misguided efforts to make that happen. And this is the outcome for anyone who's curious. When you try to control other people, this is how well it goes, and this is how much joy you get on the other end of that. This is how much peace it brings you. You're sitting on a naughty boy with your feet in the water, whining to your husband about, pick me up at the hotel tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Did she mean he's to get on a 15-hour flight?
I think she did.
Oh.
She's a child.
Wow.
She's a child.
And then we get Heather coming down to Angie and Mary's room, and she's all dramatic with her hands on her hips, crying. And she does this perfunctory, like, hi, Angie, how are you? And Angie's like, just don't. What's going on with you? And then she explains what happened. And Mary rightly points out that, you're telling the truth, you're being a good friend. Even though I don't think Heather's being a good friend, I think she's being a good producer and she's trying to get a storyline going.
Totally.
She's not doing this because she gives a rip about Lisa. She just doesn't want to talk about fucking Captain Jason and how that didn't go well. Yeah.
Whitney takes a boring tour below deck. Sorry to the crew. I just was like, I don't give a shit. Jason asks Brittany if she's having fun. She asks for a tour. He says maybe, but not tonight. He's been up since 4. And so Brittany's like, all right, well then who else? And then she's like, oh, hi, Muscles, to Eddie.
That's Joao.
Oh, that's Joao?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my God. Sorry to Joao, Eddie. I'm sorry.
You'll learn them when you watch the other side of this when
God,
it's played
they look
out on Below
exactly
Deck.
the same to me.
Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe it was Eddie, but I thought it was Joao. Who gives a rip? It doesn't matter. It's Brittany, so it's just like male genitalia. I don't think she sees faces either. She just sees like a dong swinging in her direction, and she's like, I want that.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Lisa just wants to be alone with John on the phone on the fucking floaty dock thing surrounded by so many fucking fish. I don't think I could ever swim there. I saw those fish and I was like, oh no. Oh, that is not, I am not swimming there. I'd like to, can't do it. Mm-mm.
I'm not an ocean girl for all those reasons. That is their territory and I don't need to be in it.
Mm-mm.
They move too fast and in ways that I don't understand and I don't want to get in their fucking way and piss someone
I don't
off.
either.
I don't want to get inked by an octopus. I don't want to get bitten by one of those fish that looks normal but has teeth. There's all these weird things that live in the ocean, and it's theirs. They deserve to live there unbothered.
80% of the ocean hasn't even been explored because it's that big. Is it 80%? Don't quote me on that. I think
I don't know, but
ridiculously huge amount of ocean.
It should be plenty of water that we've never seen, and like only shipwrecks have.
Oh God,
experienced.
no! Oh, I just got chills. No! No one called for my thalassophobia.
Oh, there it is.
Heather asks Mary, what should I say to Lisa? And Mary tells her, you're being a real friend.
Yeah, she tells her that just to say, I'm being honest, I'm telling you how I feel, how we all feel. And we all know that this is the truth. And then Heather goes to find Lisa, and that's it, right?
Yeah, Lisa's just hyperventilating on the phone with John on the fish dock.
Oh, no. Don't they have that interaction? There was one interaction between Lisa and Heather that absolutely drove me up a wall. And it was a real team nobody moment when Lisa was like, leave me alone, just leave me alone. And Heather goes, fine, leave me. And I was like, oh my God, you telenovela, soap opera, stage opera, ridiculous idiots. Like, I don't know how much of this is alcohol fueled and how much of this is actually who you are, but just leave me, Heather. She's on a yacht. She can't go anywhere without a lot of commotion of a tender starting up. And you know what I mean? Just why doesn't everybody go to bed and like sleep it off and have a conversation in the morning in the sunlight with level heads? It's too much. Everyone knows Lisa did it. Stop trying to pretend like you want to win her friendship back. Heather's just pursuing dramatic scene work, and I smell it and I hate it.
Oh my God. I'm exhausted. This episode exhausted me. It was entertaining, but taking notes on people screaming
drained me
for 45 minutes is very much a sensory experience that I don't care for in my Bravo. But that's okay.
A lot.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm here to watch the crash out of Lisa Barlow. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Friend, what else did you watch this week?
Oh my God, I don't remember. Huh? Oh, I watched Potomac. I finally got caught up on Potomac, and it's great.
It is.
The most recent episode was fantastic. I love these new cast members. I'm really getting a kick out of it. It is a good time. And then I watched, I don't know what's going on with me. I've been watching Sister Wives, and this week's episode was so bizarre. That show is just wrong on every level, which I think is partly why I love it. So it is today is October 29th.
Yes.
The episode that aired was a Christmas episode with everybody singing a Christmas. And I was like, this is so dissonant. And that is so Sister Wives. And the show is just awful. Cody Brown is a nightmare. That's pretty much what I watched this week. How about you?
I also watched Potomac. I forgot that morning show started back up. So Josh and I watched one episode, watched some basketball. Super excited already. And I watched The Real Housewives of Orange County. I watched last week's. So the episode, their first episode in Amsterdam, and then last week's episode, which is their second week. And I have a confession to make that I never saw this coming in a million billion years. And I'm about to look at you, one of my dearest friends for years and years, and to all of our listeners, I have something to say. Lisa Barlow is so terrible on this season of Salt Lake City, and Julia was so terrible on the season of Miami we just finished with. Combine that with watching Heather Dubrow in Amsterdam work her way around a pre-roll and some consciousness expanding plants. And I was like, Dubrow, here's my whole fucking heart. I take it all back. I'm a fan. I don't just tolerate her. I like her. I like her. I like her. Oh, God. I reserve the right to take that back, but I really...
Do you like her, or do you just like her when she's on drugs?
I'm not going to compare myself to Heather in any way other than the fact that I have tendencies to be very tightly wound. I have tendencies to control. I'm not a fan of the way she talks about her childhood. Like, she's not just like really talking about how her dad was. She's like making it sound like, listen, just say he was an alcoholic rageaholic. Don't like my dad was prone to outbursts. Like, okay, no way you package it. It's gonna, we know the truth. Do you know what I'm saying? She's trying to like.
She is the textbook result of an alcoholic rageaholic household.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
Someone with this much control, who's that thin, who's that image focused.
Type A.
That's symptomatic of a chaotic childhood.
So I think that her empathy compared to Gretchen, Heather is truly on the right side of morality, on the right side.
Compared to Gretchen, yes.
Compared to Gretchen. Okay, so what I was saying earlier is, as someone who has found obviously lots of relief and lots of growth, astounding amounts of insight once I added psychedelics into my talk therapy, and as someone that has found medicinal relief from cannabis, watching Heather experience similar things and really seeing like Heather's essence, like who she really is underneath the facade, I fucking loved it. And so maybe that's all I needed. I needed something to have in common with her, because I don't have that experience with everybody I see who is using psilocybin or using cannabis. Heather just really charmed me. I didn't just tolerate her. I enjoyed her. Just seeing her and Gina, just a little bit of ego dissolution is so fucking intriguing to watch. And I liked seeing it so much. I am ecstatic about the season finale tomorrow night with the Gretchen and Heather showdown. Fuck you, Gretchen. And also, I can't believe it's already the season finale, because I kept waiting for something to happen all season. So
I think that finale episode is it, because even that last episode was just I don't know, it was just sort of a fever dream setting up this finale.
I don't know if anyone else saw this, but the scene with Emily and Gina, they're in their hotel room on the bed having a conversation, and Gina is alluding to the disgusting, repugnant posts that Gretchen has liked on social media. Gina is like viscerally disturbed, as we should all be. Emily, however, she just wants to nope out of this conversation like, This is where Emily shows herself. I think she has a lot more in common with Gretchen's beliefs than she does with anybody else on the cast. Fuck you, Emily. Yeah, so that's what I watched, and I like Heather Dubrow now, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Feel free to throw it back in my face or say, I told you so. I am totally open to that.
Here's my only concern is that, so she, like everyone, is a delight on mushrooms. She is not, to my knowledge, doing any work in therapy. So unless she is on mushrooms, I don't have a ton of faith that she will if I were to encounter her, I would expect her to pity me, talk down to me the way she does everyone else. She throws Nobu parties and she seems uncomfortable around Gina types, you know what I mean? Because she's like kind of poor in Heather's eye. Like, I don't know. There's no warmth and curiosity or any sense of acceptance. It would feel like I'd have to perform. And if I did that well enough, maybe she'd drop a layer, you know?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe I just like Amsterdam, Heather. Who knows?
Yeah. Look, Travel Margie is the best version of Margie. I'm a delight on vacation, but I just don't sense that Heather's doing a lot outside of recreational drug use, which is great
I see what you're saying.
to
I see what you're
progress
saying.
her spirit, you know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think her belief system was forced to evolve because she loves her children, thank God.
Thank God. Because unfortunately, we know that there are parents out there that would not do.
Certainly in Orange County, and God
Yeah.
bless her for being like a huge advocate and being really visible and really vocal
Yeah.
about support of the trans community and any marginalized communities. I'm just wary of her.
You're right.
You remember when we saw her take Terry off screen and scold him for how he was talking to her?
Yeah.
When we heard the story of her throwing a caterer up against a wall and yelling at them at one of her parties, I just worry about someone like Heather drawing me in with her fun mushroom trip on camera. And then if I catch her in a bad moment, she'd turn on me in a heartbeat because I'm expendable. You know what I mean? I'm disposable. I'm not of her ilk, so she could turn on me, get her aggression out on me, and she'd be fine with it and not think anything of it. And it would destroy me because I care what people think about me, even though I read that trauma quote at the beginning of this
You're a human being, dude.
episode. Yeah.
You're a human being.
So I sense in her something unsafe still. So that's all.
God, I wonder if I just have plant leaf glasses on or something, and I just
Or if I have like cynical, damaged trauma glasses on. I have no idea. I've seen enough of that part of her that goes dead behind the eyes that I'm familiar with in other people who I've loved. And then they get mean because they're unhealed. Not because they're bad, but because they're unhealed.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm a cool target for them somehow. Something in me is attracted to something in them that's attracted to taking things out on me. That's what I'm unwinding. And it's my lifelong work that I'm unwinding in 12-step rooms and therapy and all the
One
things.
hundy, one hundy, absolutely. Friend, what was your antidepressant this week?
My antidepressant this week was last night. This friend of mine writes, directs, produces, and stars in this annual Halloween show. And I'm not a huge Halloween fan, but it's a sketch show. And this year we did it at the Groundlings, and the cast is like so funny. And I just was so appreciative of these actors, lots of them quite high profile, who like took time out of their lives to like show up to do this, like, you know, what could have been considered like a silly sketch show. But one in particular, I mean, why not name him? Jim Rash. He's like amazing, just an incredible human being, an unbelievable talent. And he showed up yesterday and he was so serious. He was taking everything so seriously. He was testing the blood he had to throw on some other actor for viscosity to see how it would stick, how high it would go, where he would aim the cup. I'm like, no wonder you're an Oscar-winning writer actor, because like you are so serious about something so insane. He was playing a half fish, half man who like lived in the walls of the theater. And he took it so seriously. I watched him perform backstage and he has to scream from behind the walls. And you would think if you were just recording him, it looked like a drama. Like, no wonder he's so funny because he's so invested. Anyways, I was just like delighted by comedy actors. They're not taken seriously and they are so committed and so wonderful and so just such good people. Everyone showed up to this experience last night. We basically had 4 hours of rehearsal the night of the show, and everyone came to play, came to win, and it was a delightful experience. So I had a great time. That's it. That was my antidepressant.
Comedy is so much harder than drama. It's so much harder. It's
I don't
so
know if
much
it's
harder.
harder, but it's at least as challenging, and it is a different skill set. And I think
100.
people do not, I think anyone who does drama thinks they can do comedy. But watching Jim Rash last night, I was like, that's so special what you're doing. Because if a dramatic actor committed that hard to this bit, it wouldn't be funny. But because you get comedy, it's inherently hilarious, and you're so committed that I want to award you every possible award you could ever win in your lifetime.
Did
So
anyone record it? I want to see it.
I don't think so.
All right.
It every year it's just like this slapdash thing that comes together so fast, which is also kind of like energizing and delightful.
What's delightful is seeing the smile on your face and how lit up you are talking about this. I'm
It was
fucking happy
such
for you,
a
friend.
joy.
Yeah.
Me too.
Huh.
And what was your antidepressant this week?
On Saturday, my husband and I celebrated our 11-year anniversary.
Oh my God, that's
I
right.
know. Yeah. So we went to dinner in the city at our favorite, one of our favorite restaurants, probably our favorite steakhouse anywhere in the state of California. We got the best table. We had great service. Everybody was just like, everyone who worked there was coming up to us, wishing us happy anniversary, champagne, martini. We met a friend out for drinks after. We just had a fucking great night. We had a fantastic, fun night. We needed a date night, and it was great to celebrate our marriage and our union for 11 years married. And yeah, we've been together almost 15 years. Jesus Christ.
That's wild.
How is that possible? It is wild. It's wild.
And it's work, and you
Yeah.
guys deserve a night out and lots of attention and affection and celebration, because
Yeah.
that's a big deal to make it that far. Double digits is a huge accomplishment.
It's a big deal. We love each other a lot, and we had a great
Yeah.
time being present with each other, and we just had a blast. We had a blast.
I'm so sorry I didn't wish you. I can't believe I forgot, but I know why. Because from your wedding 11 years ago, I stole so many matchbooks that had the date
Good.
of your wedding on them that I just ran out. So I stole 11 years worth, 10 and a half years worth of matchbooks. So literally every day I would see them in this little bowl that I have until they ran out. And so that's why the date was not on my mind for the first time in 11 years.
Aw. Yeah,
thank
I'll
you
send you
for-
more of those matches. We've got a few left. So
Do you really?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love them.
I do too.
They're quality matches.
They're really good matches.
Yeah, they were.
They were great matches. I
Yeah.
love those matches. They
It's
were
why
beautiful.
I took so many, because
Mhm.
when I saw that they weren't all being snatched up, I was like,
Oh, you were supposed to take them. That was
literally
Yeah.
taking fistfuls into
good.
my
I'm really
cocktail
glad.
purse.
I hope none of them went into the trash that night. I would have been so bummed.
Oh my God. No, I would have dug them out. I know a
Good.
high quality match when I come across one.
I love it. I
I
love
light
it so
a lot
much.
of candles, and
You do.
I love a good match.
Good. I'm glad you had some. I'll send you more, friend. Oh, everybody, thank you so much for listening. I don't know. If you're having a low moment this week, just remind yourself, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and I am not Lisa Barlow. You're already winning at life.
Period.
Yeah. Friend, I love you.
I love you too.
I can't wait to see you again next week. Everybody, take good care, and we'll talk next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are obviously not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.